Hi folks, we're back in the log cabin. We're having a tinker about with this big generator. Let's have a look what we're up to. Well, as you know, we've got these two generators, the large one and the small one. We're working on the large one at the moment, the Clark generator. We've actually stripped it all down now, as you've probably seen in the last video. Let's just show you what we're up to. And I've got the MC51 here, which I left all the rusty nuts and bolts sitting in. Let me just show you how that turned out. So this was the MC51 liquid, as you can probably see there. And when I took the bolts out, as you can see, they just need a wire brush. I've just stuck them in some white spirit here. Oh, as you can see, it removed quite a lot of tape. They just got to be wire brushed off there, so that's how they've turned out. I've got some more in there at the moment. Let's have a little look. Been in here for a while, and as you can see, they come out really nice, so that we can actually reuse the original bolts. They just need a wire brush off. That black residue on there actually comes off, so that's fine. These are the brackets which operate the levers on the engine, which we've got a sandblast, and also the engine mounts as well need sandblasting as well, so we'll do them as well. Coming over to the cradle, we've treated all of this now. We've rubbed all this down and treated this with the Vactan rust treatment. So all we've got to do now is just go over this with a light wet and dry, and that will be ready for painting black. The engine, Gary's just rubbed down with a wire brush there, as you probably know, and what we're going to do is, like, we'll mask all that up and then we'll paint that with an aluminium paint. That'll make it look a lot tidier. The carburettor has been put through the ultrasonic cleaner. All the jets were totally blocked up on it, so as you can see, that's actually nice and clean and been reassembled. What we're missing here with regards to the choke, there is another lever which apparently used to sort of stick up in the air here and come along, and that used to be your choke lever, so the attachment's been broken off of there. So Gary's ordered a new one of those now, so we've got a new one of those coming, as well as the spring kit for the governor arm as well, because as you see, they've all rotted away. They're about £5 each, something like that, so that's £10 got to be spent on that at the moment. That's all we've laid out so far. Now, someone did say that we never checked the output on the electrics. Well, that's obvious because we hadn't had it running yet and started, but we had it firing, so we knew that we can actually go ahead and actually do some work to it. What we've got here is the brushes there, so we'll undo them, check the brushes, probably clean the armature as well. There's some sort of electronic module there, so at the end of the day, we're just going to take these off and just check the armature as much as we can, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do with regards to the little box. If it either runs and puts out power or it doesn't, will depend obviously on things like this, but we can actually, as I say, clean the armature up, and that's what we're going to do as well. So that's all in the pipeline. There are two dipsticks on this. You've got one this side, and there's actually one the other side as well, as you can probably see there. Now, it's obviously been overfilled, but we found an online manual, and it actually shows you that when you wind the dipstick out, there is two marks on the dipstick, and this was well overfilled. As you saw, the oil was actually pouring straight out. We will do a complete oil change on it as well, so that's that. So what we've got to do now then is just to clean up some parts. I'm going to prepare this cradle. We'll paint that. We'll put that in the back. We did try getting the powder coating oven. It doesn't want to go in there, it's too big. So let's carry on now. We'll do a little bit and you can come along for the ride. Right, okay then, so that's primed and I've had the first coat of black on it, so just letting that dry off now, and thought I'd just come over here. Gary's removed the throttle control arm there and also that engine cover there. So these are just going to be painted with a silver paint. Where is it, Gary? So we're just going to use this engine enamel. This is a matte aluminium one, so we'll just give this a go anyway. So yeah, it's all like little bits like this preparation, so let's get on with it. Right, that's all that's needed for that. I'll give that one more coat once it dries, and that should be good to go. Right, Gary's doing a bit of sandblasting. I'm just going to give the frame another coat, and then we'll turn it over and do that. So you haven't got to see that. I'll show you when it's all done. I'll see you in a minute. Right, just waiting for this to dry so that we can turn it over and then do the other side. But got a bit of work to do on the Sandblaster. Gary's been using it. It's getting all plugged up. We've got to clean the filter out. As you probably know, my setup isn't 100%, but it makes do for the moment until I can get it all sorted out. So I'll just take the glass out of mine. As you know, I've done a little modification. Normally, you have to stick your hands in and pull that thin membrane. Where's that thin membrane? Well, I've just thrown it away, haven't I? It was getting impossible to see through this, as you can see. So you just rip that off from the inside. Normally you have to come from the inside and re-stick it back up again, which is a nuisance. So that's why I made these bolts now, so I can undo the perimeter, lift the glass out and do it on the workbench. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, so I'll just undo these nuts around the edge. There's my temporary light, as you can see, because the lights you get with these are absolutely rubbish. Let's put that over there. Put my little nuts away. Right, and hopefully now I should be able to just lift off this plastic shroud, which you can see like that, much easier. And then I can actually remove the glass and reattach now the plastic shielding on the inside in the comfort of a workbench. Right, Gary's cleaning out the fuel tank. We're going to powder coat it, we might as well. It's got a fuel gauge on there, which we've got to take off. We've got to clear everything off, like the rubber mountings and stuff like that. He's pulled this out of the fuel tank, which don't look too bad, to be honest with you. Let's have a smell of it. Oh, it's what we put in. What am I doing? I forget. I'm only human. I make mistakes. As you quite often point out, quite a lot of you. Right, so what we got in the fuel tank, let's have a look. As you can see, there's a bit of smegma laying about in the bottom there. What we'll probably do is empty it out, which is done now. And I've got that MC51, which I'll put in there, and we can swash that about and leave it in there overnight. So that's what we'll do with that. But it's ideal, it's in perfect condition. And when that's powder coated red, that's gonna look absolutely lovely. So that's got to come off. The rubber mounting legs have got to come off there. They're only bushes there. And also the fuel tap, and there's also got a filter in there as well, which we'll clean as well. So we'll leave him to that. So I'm over here at the moment. I've got some acetone here. In fact, I should have my gloves on. Wait there. And I use these orange gloves. As you can see, these are quite hard wearing. The other blue ones I used to use, when you put acetone on them, they sort of melt away. So these are a lot more hard wearing. I should have got a large actually, because I've got XL. They're a little bit too big for me, but again, I'll use them up first. Make do and mend, so they say. So yeah, what I do, as I say, I'll get I've actually broke the corner of my glass there, as you can probably see there. I'm not going to replace it. I've just put some aluminium tape over it. And literally all I do is I'll get some acetone, because when you pull them covers off, them plastic covers, it leaves a residue behind. And acetone takes it right off. As you can see there, that sticky residue. A little rub with the acetone, which really does the job. And this was the sort of thing you used to have to do when it was in situ. If you didn't have a removable glass like I've now got, it's a right pain. So that's as you get these sandblasters out of the box. So as I say, there are modifications you probably have to make to them if you're using them quite often, or quite a lot as I do, because it really becomes an inconvenience. And just to show you what I buy this clear sheeting, as you can probably see, on a roll, and I cut it to length basically. I normally make about 5 or 6 of these up at a time. I make them to length, and then I use this double-sided thin tape all around the edge, and then I just stick them on, and that's how I do it. Because again, to buy these sheets on eBay, somewhere like eBay, for about £5, it's like £10. And I think the whole roll of that, which is a really thick roll there, I think that only cost about £14 for the whole lot. So definitely the way to go. If I could find the link to this stuff on my computer, I'll put it in the description below to the website where you can get this. Let me carry on and clean this up. I'll get a new one put on, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, Gary was taking off the fuel tank sensor, and the 2 top bolts are stripped. So obviously the first thing we tried was the impact driver. That chewed the heads up. So then what we had to do was drill the heads out, which we've just done now, and we're just showing you now, this is the situation we're in now. Now, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's a waste of time doing all this sort of stuff, but this is why we've got all these tools, because we enjoy doing it. It's tinkering about, it's a hobby, you know? So, obviously, if you're going to sell this for pure profit, and you haven't got any of these tools, you're going to be having a devil's own job to do these sort of repairs, but we've got this gear, this is the gear we got, this is what we enjoy doing. So let's have a look what we've actually done. We drilled it off, as you can probably see there. This one we've lifted out, as you can see. All we've done is get the mole grips on there. Now, once the head come off of the nuts, we was able to pull that out, and we're left with the little stud sticking up. So we'll just squirt it with some WD, let it do its stuff. And again, get these mole grips. Let me come around that side a little bit. Get them on as best we can, like that, and literally backwards and forwards is a little motion I want to do, because I want to try and make that loosen off without actually breaking any more of the stud off. I don't know whether it's going to work. It worked on the other one, but if it doesn't, then we've got to drill this out and then probably re-tap it. So, right, this one, as you can probably see, this one hasn't worked. So this one come out all right. So all we'll do is we'll cut that off flush now. We'll drill that out and just re-tap the hole on that one. So that's the issue there. Not a problem. But again, lift the float out of the hole, which is easier said than done. How do you get a square peg in a round hole, a round peg in a square hole? Why don't that come off like that? What's that all about? There's no flats on it, is there? Oh, here we go, it's coming, look. It's coming, literally, that's a tight fit, isn't it? And that's the little level float indicator for the tank, as you can see. So we'll put that to one side. I'll just hacksaw that off flush. Right, okay. So I've got one of these automatic centre punches. Do the best you can to get that in the centre of the bolt. There we go. And this is where you also want a good selection of drill bits there. So I'm going to go for one slightly smaller first of all. I'm going to go for a 4mm. So all we'll do is we'll drill that centre out. There we go, we just broke through there, look. Just come back, go forward again. We got straight down the centre with the hole there, so that's ideal now. What I'm going to do now is get a tap out and we'll tap this, and that should be okay. Right, so drop a splodge in there. And I've already started the tap. Keep cleaning the threads as you go. Get in there. So all we've got to locate is a couple of new bolts for it, and the job's a good one. So we can now carry on, get these labels off, flush the tank out, get them little brackets off, and then we can powder coat, strip it down in the Sandblaster and then powder coat it. Right, there we go. I've just run off 6 there. Normally 5 of them cost about £10, so save myself £10 when the whole lot of that plastic only costs £14. So I've got loads still to go on there, and this double-sided tape I picked up off eBay. I don't really know what size it is, but just look for double-sided tape. It's probably about maybe a centimetre, so probably go for a centimetre, something like that. Looks like a centimetre to me, so yeah, there you go. Fantastic. I'm going to stick this on now, get it back. Right, that's it, all back together now. Let me show you what it looks like now through there. I've also cleaned the filter on the shop vac which I got there, but I'll just show you what the view's like now through there. So as you can probably see, when I do my shots from the Sandblaster, that's what you can normally see, and that's the way you got to sort of maintain these sandblasting cabinets. So that's it. I do need another pair of gloves here as well, by the way. I've got a split in one of the gloves down there. But because this works on a negative pressure, in other words, sucking in, you're using the vacuum to pull it out, no air really comes out of here. So that's when you've got a negative pressure inside. Let's just shut the door, switch everything on, and show you a little bit of sandblasting footage, because you quite like that, don't you? Here we go. Right, we'll just do a little bit of powder coating, just these couple of black things for you, just to show you what we're up to. On with that. On with our electrostatic magic easy coat gun system, as you know, with some gloss black in it. Right, okay, there you go. There's just a few bits we powder coated and sprayed within the last couple of hours. And I'll say to you now, we're going to do some more stuff now, have some lunch and all that. But just to show you what we get up to, we can only do this stuff because we've got the equipment. But I know a lot of you haven't, but I hope you just enjoy us tinkering about in our workshop, just seeing what we get up to. It's what we enjoy. Anyway, thanks very much. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and also ring that little notification bell and set all your preferences to all. That way you'll get notified every time we upload a video. See you later. Bye for now.